Hey, I'm Nick Williams, and I'm here to tell you you do not have to sign these blood contracts I see out there. And by blood contracts, I mean these non-compete contracts. There's other types of contracts, but I'll focus on non-compete. You don't need to sign these contracts. And there are some instances, and at the end of the video, I'll tell you when it's okay to sign a non-compete contract. I speak from experience as an agency manager with a very big corporation which utilize non-compete contracts, and I speak from the perspective of an agent who has been in disputes regarding non-compete contracts. So before you sign these blood contracts, understand what you're signing. Even if it's a legitimate contract, there are rules, such as it cannot cause undue hardship. And by this, the courts would say that you have the right to earn a living. So they could say, okay, and the next thing I have here is that it must be narrow in scope. So they could say, well, you can't sell Medicare insurance, but you can sell insurance. So you are able to earn a living, just not selling Medicare insurance. And they may have that confined to a geographic area, say 35 or 50 miles from where this contract is implemented or the territory you have agreed to work. They can go beyond that in many instances. They have nationwide things to protect you from things such as trade, or protect the company. Nobody's protecting you from trade secrets. There's extraordinary or specialized training that is provided, so it should cover that. It should cover confidential knowledge, relationships that are specific to this company that you could go perhaps elsewhere. Maybe that's providing a big corporation and you go somewhere else in the country and try to create a relationship with that same corporation. In essence, that's a violation, and that would be fair. That's when the contract should be enforced. There's time and investment that also is of issue that with these corporations. If they invest a bunch of money in you and you take that knowledge that they gave you and go elsewhere and put that to work, well, that's not fair to the corporation. So, but there must be a time limit to these contracts. And most states, that's 2 years. I've included a chart here from the Boston law firm of Beck, Reed, and Ryden, and this has the general guidelines for each state. And as it states on that chart, that's not legal advice. They're just providing you some information for your general knowledge. Let's see. Here's the thing. Legalese doesn't matter. These companies will spend you into the dirt. They will beat you up financially. You won't, in all likelihood, you won't even be able to defend yourself against the non-compete, even if you are correct. And that's the way the law works, my friend. First thing they'll do is they'll file a motion against you, and the initial filings will have a injunction hearing request. And that injunction hearing would be that they could impose a cease and desist from you conducting business of a certain type of product sale within a certain geographic area. And they will come down on you very fast with that. That happens like that because the company is going to say, we as a corporation are being harmed financially by this individual and we need the protection of the courts. And that's what they get, unless you can outspend them. When you go to see a lawyer when this happens, the first thing they're going to ask for is about 10 grand out of the gate. We're going to need 10 grand as a retainer just to get started on this venture, this legal defense of yours. And then they're going to say, well, we need depositions. This corporation is. We need depositions. We need to depose you, your assistant, our people, as many people as they can get, because each deposition is going to cost thousands of dollars. It's their attorney, it's your attorney, it's a reporter, the person that takes the record, and it just adds up real fast. You're $20,000, $30,000 down before you ever get started, like in any formal legal proceeding. That's how it works. Most agents will quit. They'll put up at first they'll say, all right, I'm going to fight this, and then they're going to spend $10,000, then $20,000. They're just going to wave the white flag. And then oftentimes in the terminology in this contract that you signed, the venue for disputes regarding the contract will take place in a court. The venue would be in a different state, not your state, not in your county. So your attorney that you know, your buddy that you know, they will help you. No, they won't help you in this instance. They will not, they can't help you because it may be on the other side of the country that the proceedings are going to take place. Then you got to worry about when you get an attorney, are they going to properly defend you? And oftentimes they will not, because most every single time, and this, there may be people, especially if an attorney sees this, they would not appreciate this, but they don't care about you. They don't care about you, especially if you're out of state. They have no interest in you as an individual. They'll just take your money, and that's it. Let's see. So you're down $20,000, $30,000 now, and for no reason. For no reason, because you didn't need to sign the contract in the first place. But let's move forward. There are very few original ideas for which you're signing this contract. So most of the time when you sign these non-competes, it's for a business model that is not, shall we say, a trade secret or a unique selling proposition, if you will, or training, extraordinary training model that this particular company has. If you need to know how to sell final expense, just go to YouTube. It's there. It'll tell you everything you need to know. If you need to know how to sell Medicare, go to YouTube. If you need to know how to set up a telemarketer, go to YouTube. If you need to know how to do direct mail, go to YouTube. It's all there. You don't need these people. You don't need their contract. They're going to own you. That's all there is to it. Let's see. Remember, if you go to a company and they have a truly unique proposition for you, you are not going to be able to go there and learn that and then go and take it somewhere else. That's what they're preventing. And that's fair to the company because that's their unique thing. But there are very few original ideas. There's very few. And most of the time, that unique proposition that they have for you is that they have some inside track. Maybe it's a Medicare company that is working, getting fed leads by, say, a major insurance company, and they have an inside track. But if it's just a company that's going to give you direct mail leads, or just a company that's going to do telemarketing for you, or just a company that's going to be providing you Facebook leads, you need to do that on yourself. You need to build your own business. And companies like ours will help you. We will help you financially. We'll help you with the expertise as well. But again, nobody corners this expertise. Let's see. Okay, how do you beat a non-compete? This is a big deal. I'm going to tell you two ways. Lawyers and money is number one. You got to match their lawyers, and these things can drag on for years. And as long as you don't have an injunction slammed against you up front, so if they file an injunction and shut you down, you've got to file for relief from that injunction. And then, your court battle begins. And then you start going to your depositions, you go into your hearings, and it just goes on and on and on. That's how it works. There's another method, and that's to be proactive. Before you leave a company, you have to document how they have violated your contract. So making that contract null and void. Now, I'm not giving you legal advice here. So don't take this and run with it and say, oh, Nick Williams told me this. But I've spoken to labor attorneys, and what they've told me, and I've had reason to speak to labor attorneys, what you do to preempt this non-compete from being imposed against you is you again, find where this company has violated your contract, and you file in your state where you live, where you reside, protection under labor laws in your state against that corporation. And you file immediately before they have a chance to file, because you can't wait for them to file and then you file. So you leave the company, you preempt, have it all set up. So let's see, you document, then you secure an attorney, and you leave the company and you file immediately for protection against that non-compete. You want to have that contract be null and void again, and that it's unenforceable against you. And that's how you would protect it. Let's see. I'll add that, and I told you that I would add at the end of this video that there's one instance in where it makes sense to sign a non-compete. And that's when somebody's going to mentor you and help you be successful. Truly mentor you, not sell you leads, not give you some template sales presentation, but truly mentor you to be a successful agent and a successful person. Then that's when you would sign that non-compete. And that's when it makes sense. It's not because somebody's going to give you some leads. So until I see you next, work hard, work smart, don't sign any blood contracts.